In addition to his famous 5 ways, Thomas Aquinas offers many other arguments for the existence of God. Let's now take a look at one of them, a simple argument for the existence of God. One of Thomas Aquinas' simplest and most straightforward arguments for the existence of God might be called the argument from world order. Aquinas thinks that Scripture itself urges human reason to consider this argument. Scripture urges us to look at the stars, St. Thomas says, for through their great order it is shown that everything is subject to the will and providence of the Creator. Yet it is not only the order of the stars that impresses human reason, but the order of all things in the universe. We observe order in the periodic table of the elements, the cycle of seasons, and many other cycles in nature, the water cycle, the carbon cycle, and so on. We also observe a wonderful orderliness in animal life, in flocks of birds, schools of fish, colonies of ants, and hives of bees, to name just a few. We also find an amazing order within individual organisms as well. For example, in the workings of the human nervous system, cardiac system, and immune system. The order we observe throughout nature provokes a question. Why? Why are things so full of order? Indeed, it seems to our senses that the whole world is one grand overarching order. But why? In his book, the Summa Contra Gentiles, Book 3, Chapter 38, St. Thomas lays out his argument starting from the observation of world order. When human beings see that things in nature run according to a definite order, and that ordering does not occur without an orderer, in most cases they perceive that there is some orderer of the things we see. The argument is brief and simple. It has 2 premises. The first premise we have already discussed. The world is full of order. We observe order between things in the world. We observe order within individual things. And the world of nature as a whole displays an order. The first premise, in short, is that the world is an order. The second premise is that ordering does not occur without an orderer. What does Aquinas mean by this? Let's take an illustration. When someone comes across a bunch of marbles, scattershot on the ground, arranged in no particular order, one might ask how they got there, who left them there, or something like that, but no one asks about their order. There is no order to investigate. When someone comes across marbles arranged in a circle, however, their circular order prompts questions. Who arranged them that way? Why? For what purpose? Is somebody playing a game of marbles? Order always prompts questions and investigation. That's why, to this day, we wonder, for example, about the pyramids of Egypt. Each one of the pyramids display a great deal of order, and perhaps there's even an order between them. We naturally want to know who built the pyramids, and why, and how they did so. Researchers are still investigating the questions, and no one set of answers has prevailed. But the only reason anyone even investigates the pyramids is because they display a wonderful order. And we know that ordering does not occur without an orderer. Now, given that the world is an order, and given that there is no order without an orderer, it follows that there must be some orderer of the world. St. Thomas Aquinas thinks that practically all human beings reason this way. Virtually everyone, he thinks, arrives at this conclusion. The world has an orderer. Another way to put it is that there must be some ultimate explanation of world order. The conclusion is, admittedly, vague, but it is a precious truth nonetheless. It naturally prompts another question. What or who is the orderer of the universe? St. Thomas does not immediately jump to the assertion that the orderer is God, for he knows that down through history, many people have ventured many answers to the question of what or who the orderer is. Some people say it is chance, but it is obvious enough that chance alone cannot explain the order of the world. Others say the orderer is the laws of nature. The laws of nature, they say, are the ultimate explanation of world order. But that position, too, is unsatisfactory for many reasons. Laws of nature do not cause the order of the world. Laws of nature simply reflect the order of the world. Laws of nature presuppose that the world is in order. The laws of nature are propositions in our minds, telling us what the order of things is in reality. Moreover, another way to pose the question of why there is world order is to frame the whole question in terms of laws. Why does the world run according to laws at all? That is the very question before us. The laws are not the answer to the question, but part of the question at issue. Yet another answer is to say that what accounts for the order of nature is certain fundamental forces. Scientists are still researching the fundamental forces, of course, but whatever they turn out to be in the end, some people say, it is the fundamental forces that ultimately explain the order of the world. But fundamental forces do not ultimately explain the order of the world, for the simple reason that the fundamental forces display a certain order. Even if we grant that fundamental forces explain the order of other things, they do not explain their own order. Their orderliness, too, is part of the natural order we are trying to explain. Ultimately, and in the last analysis, nature is not self-explanatory. There must be something beyond nature to account for the order of the world. And what else could there be beyond all of nature except God? The original conclusion of the argument, that there must be some orderer of the world, is certainly vague at first. It is a certain spark of light in the mind. It sparks the endeavor to understand the world, and arguably it is the spark behind all the researches of science. It drives human reason on not only to explore the order of the world, but to find an ultimate explanation for all of it, insofar as it is possible for us to do so. In the end, though, once the implications are drawn out, it turns out that the first spark of light was already a sort of initial or very rudimentary knowledge of the existence of God. In other words, God has not left humanity without any knowledge of himself. He has given us a world full of order to behold. And the point of beholding the order of the world is to come to know him, the one true God behind it all. For readings, podcasts, and more videos like this, go to Aquinas101.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for one of our free video courses on Aquinas. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, because it matters what you think.